Hey everyone, it's Noella, aka Goldilonglocks, and today I'm going to show you how to do this really fun and colorful thread braid. I thought of it the other day, kind of impromptu, when I was doing one of my live shows on You Can Makeup, which by the way, if you don't know what that is, I'm going to go into it a little bit more at the end of today's tutorial, so stay tuned for that. But I do 3 live shows a week, so you should definitely come and watch. But I came up with this braid, and I think I called it a yarn braid on my live show, but this isn't exactly yarn. I suppose you could use yarn to do this, but I actually got this thread from a friendship bracelet set, which usually comes with like a thicker thread or like an embroidery floss. Anything you have along those lines, you'll be able to do this look. So I'll show you how to do this variation of it and one more that's a surprise. So stay tuned and we'll get to it. As I mentioned, we're gonna start using this friendship bracelet thread, but you can use whatever you have on hand. And I wanna use a ton of colors and lots of threads so it's nice and bright, but that's completely up to you. As a rule of thumb for cutting our thread, you want to measure from the bottom of your ear to the end of your hair, and then go ahead and double that in length. So that's what I did for all of this thread. And if you want your braid to be very colorful, then use more thread. And if you just want like a subtle hint of color throughout, then go ahead and use less. Keep in mind, all of this tangles together very easily, so you want to make sure that there are no knots before you start. And for the first style, I'll split all this thread into 3 even sections to go with our regular 3-section braid that we're going to be doing today. Make sure all your hair is smoothed out and then split up. And starting with the front section, you can go ahead and tie a chunk of thread around the top of the hair, securing it with a knot and pulling it up nice and high there. So do the same thing with the other 2 sections and keep your knots clean. Take your time. You don't want your hair getting wrapped up in them because it is not worth the breakage. And when you're cutting the excess string here, be very careful not to snip any of your own hair with it. You can always have someone help you if you need it. Before beginning the braid, you want to use some sort of product here. So I grabbed my Kenra Platinum Texturizing Taffy and work it through each section, securing down any flyaways. So you can obviously use a bunch of different sort of products here, but this taffy is what I choose because it controls yet softens rather than stiffening like a lot of different gels do. And the smell is just a plus. Once you're good to go with your taffy, start with the front section, separating the thread from the hair. Use one hand to wrap the thread around, and then the other hand to continually smooth the hair as you go all the way down. Once you get to the bottom, grab an elastic and secure it around the end of the thread to hold it down right into place. So same thing now with the other 2 sections. Once your 3 sections look somewhat like this, go ahead and start with a normal braid all the way down, making sure to braid very tightly, guys. You can once again use some Kenra taffy to hold down any flyaways, and then grab an elastic to tie the end. One of my favorite parts in this braid is the little thread endings mixed in with my hair ends. You can always trim the thread if it's longer than your real hair, but for me, it ended up just perfectly actually. So this is the complete braid, perfect for any fun occasion and a definite conversation starter, that's for sure. I posted this on Instagram the other week, and you can see the cool part is no matter how many times you do this braid, it's never gonna be exactly the same just because of all the different colors involved. This second style reminds me of back in the day when I would get hair wraps on vacation or like at Disneyland, and I love it for that. So we're gonna use all the thread from the last style, but combine it together and grab a piece of hair in the front by your ear and tie the thread in a knot right at the top. So you definitely wanna grab a good size section of hair, almost as if you had split it into 3 sections again, which is ultimately what we're gonna be doing. For the wrap job, we're gonna work with about 2 to 3 pieces of thread at a time, just to make it go faster, but for each 2 to 3 pieces, I suggest using a similar or exact same color. Use one hand to wrap, and then the other hand is gonna hold the hair along with the excess thread that you aren't using at the moment. And when the pink thread runs out, grab your next color, which I'm gonna choose green, and you wanna wrap it over the last end of the pink, just about like this. Continue all the way down with the green until you run out of that color, and then we'll switch to another color. You're gonna do this all the way down. Obviously, customize it your own way, working in whatever colors that you please. When you run out of all the thread, grab an elastic and just tie it over the last string, securing it right into place. It's okay if you have a longer tail at the end of the wrap strand, as long as you do have some sort of hair left over, because that's really important for our next step. Take some time to adjust the thread, pushing it up and covering any hair that shows, and then go for a normal 3-strand braid. Again, adjusting the thread as you go, and of course at the very end. And before you secure it with an elastic, pancake the free strands out. You want to make them nice and big, and voila, we have our next threaded braid. So these are both designed to be super simple, yet different and also really fun. And this one kind of reminds me of going down a slide, so there's that. Last thing here, notice how the Kenra taffy that we used in hairstyle 1 gives the second braid a beautiful loose form and hold. Alright guys, that was 2 threaded braids. I hope you enjoyed them both. Make sure to tell me which one you liked more in the comments below. And even more than that, I would love to know what you guys would like to see moving forward. So any tutorials that you would like to request, I'm all ears. And real quick, at the beginning I said I would talk a little bit about YouCam Makeup. So YouCam Makeup is an app that I joined back in November 2016. And I actually do 3 live shows a week. So each live show is about an hour long, and it's anything from hair, makeup, beauty, anything you guys request really. It's very similar to my YouTube, but I would love to invite you guys to watch me there. I know a lot of you guys that are on my YouTube channel are from there, so hello to everyone. But anyone who's not on that app, if you want to see a little bit more of Goldilonglocks, I would definitely check that out, and I will link all the info below. I think the coolest thing about YouCam is that you can try on makeup all via filters, so you don't have to go into the stores and get all swatch tested anymore. You can try on any look virtually sitting at home, and it's all of the coolest makeup brands that Sephora, Ulta, all of my favorite stores carry. So that's how I really got interested in it, and I started doing more and more live shows a week, and now I have over 60,000 followers there. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for anyone who is part of my YouCam fam, and hopefully more of you will head on over there, and I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching this tutorial, guys. It means a lot to me, and I promise I'll have a new one coming for you next week. Let me know if you have any requests or ideas for me. Thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.